Hey everyone, this is Rock from StageandSky.com, and I have a theory that I want to run past you. I could be wrong about all of this. This is to both ladies and gentlemen. I call it the hot guy intimidation factor, or the hot guy intimidation theory. And this is something that's going to be embarrassing to say as a guy, because as men we're taught, oh, you shouldn't be bragging about this. If you're good at what you do, you don't need to flaunt it or anything like that. So it often goes unsaid. And when it often goes unsaid, people, I think, tend to deny it. And when you deny it and you don't accept reality for what it is, I think that's when we all run into trouble. There's a lot of frustration. Things aren't making sense. Like, why isn't this person going for me? Think back to the video I just did when it comes to, women going to the gym and no one going for them. So they'll tell themselves, oh, that guy must be gay, or he must not be into black women.
Take out the men who are on the down low gay, pretending to be straight, but ain't never gonna marry a woman. I'm in the gym the other morning. Black men working out all around. A good third to half the black men I see in the gym are gay.
Whatever. The hot guy intimidation factor is very much similar to the opposite. So, you know how women say that, oh, you know what? The reason why a man's not attracted to me is because he's intimidated by a strong and independent woman, right? And honestly, fellas, forgive me, fellas, but honestly, I think there may be, people get so hung up on the word intimidated, but I do think there is some truth to a man not being interested, or just, being a little bit turned off by a woman who they come across and she's a little bit, assertive, almost a little bit too masculine. And that could just be her personality. I'm not saying that's wrong or right, but very often we're a little bit put off, standoffish, as opposed to a sweet, soft-spoken, nurturing, kind, feminine woman, like we would tend to go for that. The hot guy intimidation factor is kind of the same thing. I think that there's something going on where a woman sees a guy, but if she thinks that he's way better looking than she is, she won't go for him. So hang on, Rock. How do you explain all the women who are supposedly going for men that they don't qualify for? There's a whole bunch of videos that red pill content creators are always talking about, saying, oh, well, the problem is the women's delusional. They'll have delusional high standards where they think they think they qualify for the men who are actually above them. Just because a woman says or thinks that she's, qualifies for a high value man, or that she qualifies for the Brad Tyrones, doesn't mean she'll actually go for it. All you guys who get mad, or when women say, oh, I want a guy who's like 6 feet tall and 6 figures and, six-pack abs, just because they say that doesn't mean they'll actually go for it. So for all you guys who are under 6 feet tall, you got hope. A lot of ladies don't have the courage. They don't have the drive, unless they're in a bar somewhere or they're liquored up and they just shoot their shot. I think that sometimes a lot of people, they go for what's easier, what they're more comfortable with, what's more approachable. Classic example. Let's say you took John Krasinski from The Office, looking like the guy from The Office, and Brad Pitt looking like Brad Pitt from Fight Club. If they were in the room, ladies, let's be honest, as much as you guys might like Brad Pitt and dream of him and want to be with him, if you saw these two dudes in a room, the person you're probably going to talk to first is John Krasinski. Why? He doesn't look that intimidating. He looks like an average, good-looking, decent dude. Whereas Brad Pitt looks super hot. He looks like, it's a mountain compared to the hill that is John Krasinski. So it's intimidating, it's like, that's a challenge. And a lot of ladies, they just don't go for that. Why is that important, Rock? Well, I think something's very tricky that's happening in today's current culture. Fellas, you might laugh at this. Because right now, for the past 3 years, ever since Kevin Samuels came into the scene, he's been pushing men to be high value. You need to be a high value man. You need to go get 6 figures, 6 feet tall, or, someone, get in shape. You need to focus on you. A lot of dudes are hitting the gym. A lot of dudes, like they're hitting the gym, they're letting go of the video games, or they'll play the video games in their spare time, but they're working on themselves to be better, good looking, decent, honorable men. The problem with that in a society where women are being pushed, we're all equals. You shouldn't be inferior to no man. You shouldn't look up to no man. In that society where men are encouraged to work hard. You need to be better, be better, be better. And women are taught, hey, never be inferior, never be inferior. There's an impasse there. It doesn't make sense. It's so stupid. In the past, I believe that women and men, we understood each other. Men had their lanes, women had their lanes. We complemented each other. We didn't compete. Women are good at this, men are good at that. There was a female writer that Donovan Sharp pointed out where she openly admitted, this is back in 2017, where she is a little bit put off by a man who has his life together. You know, like she's looking for someone who's just as messed up as she is, you know, who she perceives to be just as messed up as she is. I don't think all women are like that, but I do think there is something where if you're, because a lot of ladies, I would say they are ambitious, but they're ambitious when it comes to careers and education. For some reason, when it comes to romance, not so much. And I think it's different based on where you live, right? So in Texas, I think a lot of ladies still are ambitious when it comes to men. They'll still go for whoever they're attracted to. Same with the Caribbean, or if you're in Africa or South America. But like, so where I live, South Florida, it's not like that. They will go for the John Krasinski's while dreaming of Brad Pitt all day. Like, they simply cannot allow themselves to be with someone that makes them feel inferior in any way. I got one more theory I have to run by you, because I just finished watching Sydney Watson's video. It's called How Birth Control Destroyed a Generation of Women. I'm about 20 minutes in, and I mean, like, these theories, they're just theories. I could be wrong, but man.
Dr. Hill goes on to add that a woman's level of estrogen determines how much testosterone she wants in her partner.
So we know now from decades of research that women's own levels of estrogen predict the amount of testosterone that they prefer in their partners. In other words, the sex hormone estrogen increases women's attunement to cues that have historically been linked to testosterone levels in men. This graph that you're looking at here is showing how women's own levels of estrogen predict testosterone preference. And what you can see from this is that estrogen loves testosterone. Right, so women, when they have relatively high levels of estrogen, are really cued into facial cues that are associated with masculinity, and this changes their preferences over the course of the cycle. Now, given that the birth control pill keeps levels of estrogen very low, we can make the prediction that women who are on the birth control pill should prefer as partners men who have fewer cues associated with testosterone preference. And that's exactly what we find. So research finds now that women who are on the birth control pill prefer partners with less masculine faces than do their naturally cycling peers. The research has also found that pill-taking women are actually choosing as partners men with less masculine faces relative to naturally cycling women.
We focus specifically on masculine facial features. On hormonal birth control, they're attracted to men that are more similar to them, with lower testosterone levels, more feminine features, and they're typically regarded as caretakers. There are more studies that also show that taking birth control changes which men you attract as well.
It's apparently, if you're on birth control, it reduces your estrogen level. And when it reduces your estrogen levels, it reduces your attraction to men of high testosterone. Like, if you have like strong, I would say, masculine features, women don't prefer those men to date or, you know, have sex with. You know, they prefer men who are more slender and feminine, softer, you know, almost like them. Like, that's basically what they're saying. These are just theories, right? Now, it could be that I just had the worst luck. You know, it could be, Rock, you're just, you know, fuck ugly. You know, that could be it. But it's like, I'm not entirely sure about all that. Like, what are the odds? Because I also just saw from the Tribe Men's video, like, he was talking about this big, jacked, muscular black dude talking to Korean women and this white girl, and they're all flattered. They're like, oh my God, you know, as they see him. And, you know, the guy, what's his name? I forgot his name, but the main guy for the Tribe of Men, he was basically saying, see, this is what you guys need to do, fellas. You need to get jacked and work in the gym, and they can't hide their attraction for you. Like, you're just gonna get them, you know? You need to work on you. And I'm not saying you shouldn't work on you. That's not what I'm saying at all. I think everyone should be in the best shape of their lives, work, and, you know, enjoy it if you can. What I do say, however, and I made a comment in his video, is that I would be a little bit cautious about just saying that's attraction, because I didn't see these women asking to go out on a date with them. I didn't see, hey, can I get your number? None of that. You know, they just seem impressed with his size. That happens. You know, like, I would be cautious about equating how a woman's impressed with you to she wants to marry you, or she wants to get with you, she wants to have sex with you. You know, I just be cautious about that, fellas, because from my experience, again, I'm 6'3". I've always been the tallest kid in class. I used to be fat, but I lost a lot of weight. And even now, I'm just straight up intimidating. I'm bigger than most of the guys that you see. I'm in the boxing gym. I'm one of the best, if I may say so myself. And what I get is that ladies do check me out, but it's a sense of marvel, but also fear. I describe it, and if you see the Tribe, I'll have the link down below, but if you see that video, what I saw was a group of women saying, oh my God, you know, you're the biggest I've ever seen, wow, your muscles, and they're, you know, they're marveling at it, but it's sort of like being in a room with a tiger, where this tiger's on a leash. You know, you may marvel at it, you want to stare at it, oh, that's so cool, you know, you'll say all that. However, you wouldn't like to be in the room with that tiger if you took the leash off of him. And I think that's what a lot of ladies are, you know, like they'll marvel at you, they're impressed with you, but when it comes to actually wanting to be with you romantically and have sex with you, a lot of them are just afraid. You know, like there's an intimidation factor, as I said in the name of this video. Like there is straight up fear, which again, you know, so it kind of hurts both ways. You know, I could be wrong. This is just a theory, but I do think that this is what's happening when it comes to this whole birth control theory. You know, that, oh, well, if you take birth control, then your estrogen levels drop. If your estrogen levels drop, then you're not attracted to men who are testosterone. So if all you guys are being pushed to hit the gym, your testosterone levels are going to go up. That makes you less attractive to women who are on the pill. That's basically what I'm seeing here. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is my logic off? Feel free, you know, like this is an honest conversation. I'm just a normal dude like the rest of you guys, right? So I just wanted to throw that out there. I could be wrong about all of this, but I think it is something to keep in mind. There's a lot of men who have no idea what's going on.
There is a question about why young people aren't dating quite so much at the moment. A study showed that 86% of women say they want a man to make the first move. A different study said that 50% of men say that they're afraid of making the first move for being seen as creepy. Another study said that 20% of Gen Zers say that a man approaching a woman sometimes or always constitutes harassment. So you have a world in which women are scared of being approached, men are scared of doing the approaching, people will judge many men, at least 1 in 5 men that do that, as being harassers, but everybody understands that if the guys don't make the first move, nothing's going to happen. If guys do make the first move, they're scared of being Me Too'd. Girls are scared of being approached by guys that they don't know, but also still know that they need the guys to make the first move 86% of the time because that's the percentage. I was like, isn't that fucking interesting?
In that 60-second video, it explains a lot. You know, it has over 90,000 views over 3 days. And like more and more men, you know, we're not cold approaching. And again, that hurts us as men and women because say, all right, Rock, well, if those ladies want you and you're a hot guy, then why don't you go for them? Because of this. We're afraid of being called creeps. A lot of ladies, sad to say, they call everything sexual harassment. You know, like if a guy comes up and approaches you, you're not ready for it. He's not sexual harassing you by just saying, hey, you look good.
I turned creep this year. He's watching me. I told management about him. They didn't do anything, but he'll like follow me around, literally go somewhere to do an exercise, and then he'll just like do an exercise like right next.
Oh, he's catcalling me. You know, men, we're tired of that. Good men who have a lot to lose, we're tired of that. Good men who have self-esteem and self-respect, no, that will ruin our whole day. We will be thinking about it all week. And to avoid that, we just, nah. Like, you have to be drop dead gorgeous for us to put ourselves on the line like that. And a lot of ladies, sad to say, are not that. You know, you are decent looking. We see potential in you, but not enough to risk that hard, detrimental feeling of, you know? So, again, this is all just theories. I could be wrong about everything. I want to know what you guys think. Fellas, have you guys experienced this? Ladies, let's be honest. What do you guys really think? What's going on, all right?